Hello, it is Drew, and I have been participating in this 28-day Instagram challenge. It was organized by Isan and Shanti through this group called Messengers, and basically they were encouraging anyone who wanted to participate, basically, just to like find their own voice and to connect with people through Instagram. And so about 1,500 people signed up to do that, and people did it in their own ways. I basically made a little selfie video like this, about 3 minutes every day, just because that's kind of what works for Instagram. For this video, I'm going to let it go on a little bit longer, and I'll end up putting it on YouTube. But maybe people who find it on Instagram and like they're interested, like could hear some of my music. So I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm in the house, the Music Box house, the guest house where I live. It's like sort of an artist studio, music recording, performing, concerts, living room stuff, backyard stuff. A lot of stuff happens here, but I just got a roommate, which is really exciting because I've been living here on my own for a while with my dog, and it's like that was definitely a necessary time just to like be in my own space and doing my own thing, playing music when I want to in the middle of the night. Um, but yeah, I've got a roommate now, which is awesome, and he's a really cool guy. He's worked at several retreat centers before, including Omega, where he was in New York. He was there for like 7 years doing the audio and visual recording stuff, and he's lived in Hawaii, I think at Kripalu, or that's the wrong name. That's a different place on the East Coast, but Kahina Beach in Hawaii. He knows Kahina Beach in Hawaii, and he, but Kalani, I think it's Kalani, where Ecstatic Dance came from. He I don't know, worked there or visited there, but he's really into retreats. He's into Sufism. I consider myself more in the Christian tradition, especially as it relates to music. Like I really feel it like with gospel music, and so that's gonna be part of what I do. I just this weekend got dug into some like bluegrass and country old time books, and like that feels resonant for me. I've gone through like so many different phases of music where it's like I'm interested in musical theater and I'm interested in choral singing and barbershop singing and folk singing, folk songwriting and, big band swing stuff. I'm interested in lots of different eras. And so it's like, where do I gravitate to? Like, what do I want to actually perform? And in Minneapolis, there's like so many opportunities. Like Monday night, there's like there's this review show at Lush Lounge that is musical theater, and it's like six really talented singer actors who put together like a cabaret show with a little combo band, and it's like totally packed every first Monday of the month for musical theater. And there's like this awesome open mic with like 50 acts, like also in Northeast neighborhood. And there's a contact improv dance, and there's bare bones closing night, and there's the square dance at Eagles 34. And it's like, man, there's like so many places I could be. And like in the end, I chose to stay home and like, you know, finish up some paperwork and like maybe write songs or maybe just like play songs. So I've been playing at the piano for a while here. And like playing the guitar a bit too, actually, because so part of the story is a little bit deeper dive past the 3 minute mark. I am going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. I am flying from Minneapolis to DCI, or Ronald Reagan Airport in DC, after work in the evening. And there is a group of about a dozen doctors and scientists like myself who are coming to DC basically to stand up for our Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So that is like a topic I'm super passionate about. And I know for some people it's like really polarizing or triggering. It's like, oh my God, like obviously he's trying to kill us all, you know? And I laugh as I say that because I don't believe that. But like, I know people are saying that. Like, I know people don't like Kennedy for lots of reasons. A big one is because like he's affiliated with Trump and he's supporting Trump. And like for a lot of people, like Trump is like the arch enemy of humanity. And I laugh at that too, because like I don't think so. Like I see Trump as a human being. I see Robert F. Kennedy as a human being. Like I don't like Trump, But I also love Trump, and the same way I love all humans. It's like he's part of humanity. Situations are really complex. Like I don't see him as an equivalent to like Adolf Hitler, which some people like are equating these like urgent times of like we're slipping into fascism. I understand that worry. I worry about totalitarianism as well. Like I am with you in fighting against the evil powers that be. I'm not sure if we know who the evil powers are, and I don't know if Trump is like representing them or if he's like a third party person who's like doing his own thing and just like wants to get rich with like mansions and weird, egocentric self. Like he is who he is. He's been who he's been. Um, I don't. I guess this is what happens when I go long winded and why I keep it to 3 minutes on Instagram. But I guess all I need to say about it before getting into music is just that presidential politics is really divisive. And I'm on Team Humanity. I'm on Team Earth, planet, like people having souls, people having hearts, people breathing and living and heart beating and lungs breathing and being in community. People need to get in community. People need to dance together. They need to sing together. They need to talk to each other, listen to each other. Like community is really where it's at. And so humans are included in that community. And like some of those humans are like politicians, our senators, our Congress people, their aides, the interns in those offices, like DC. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm going to go be in that world. And if we can talk to some of the, like the health, like intern, I don't know if it'd be intern, the health director for, some of the senators, some of the Congress people who are like, they're going to be asked to like impeach Robert F. Kennedy. And I'm saying like, don't do that. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing some amazing things. And if you don't understand that, like talk to us about it, because I am one of those doctors who like went to medical school, went to residency, am practicing medicine, licensed, and I'm like taking care of patients. And like I'm looking at the other side, like so many of my peers, like the people I went to medical school with, the people I went to residency with, the people who trained me, like they are riding the group thinking train that involves following the CDC's health advice and taking COVID vaccines. I guess like a booster, like every 6 months, every year, like it would be what they would recommend. For the purpose, I guess, of protecting you against coronavirus. And like, if that's your worldview, like, I just like want you to have a retreat experience of spending like multiple days learning the truth about how our medical system works and how the medical system has been corrupted and how like these technologies that are being used through like mRNA vaccine, like by that mechanism, the pharmaceutical industry like has its sights set on billions of dollars of money and like the total control over like our bodies. Like our bodies are on the line here. And in one corner, it's like big pharmaceutical with big government, with big media, with everybody big. And in the other corner is like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Like, I don't know if people understand that this man has been fighting this fight for decades. And like the fact that at the final corner, he joined Team Trump to get half the country on his side or a quarter of the country on his side, when before, he was a minority of like less than 1%. Like he was canceled by everybody. Like, do people know like how much Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was canceled for his activism about vaccines like 10 years ago? I don't exactly know the timeline or the years, but like if you're not familiar, a good place to start would be his article that was, removed from circulation of two magazines, Rolling Stone magazine and I think Esquire. I think it was like 2005. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in the Rolling Stone in 2005, Robert F. Kennedy wrote this long article that was later retracted, that was talking about, I think it's called the Simpsonwood Retreat Center Conference in Athens, Georgia. And there was all these like CDC experts, all the, the vaccine industry experts, GlaxoSmithKline and whatever. They were all meeting privately, secretly, like the heads, like the people in charge. They were meeting at this retreat center for like a 2 or 3 day conference to talk about these results that were pretty damning about injuries related to vaccines. Specifically, I don't know, I don't want to get too specific because it's very detailed, but it's potentially related to like the adjuvants that are in vaccines, the mercury, the aluminum. Like we're told that that's like kind of a preservative, or it's just like it's like necessary to like provoke the immune system so the vaccine can work. But like as it turns out, some people are concerned that these like little pieces of metal, like in our complicated bodies, like our body is composed of like cells and tissues. It's like the cell membrane and like what's inside the cell is like very sensitive to like toxic things that you put in your body. And so like even though it's like very tiny in scale, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just a little shot, but it's like being injected into the bicep. It's being like through the skin, like into the muscle, into the blood, into like from there it can like it's into the body. And like if the vaccine is like little mRNA biotechnology that is designed, who knows, like by AI or whatever, like the little mRNA, it's like working on a level that like feels unfathomable. But like imagine that mRNA, like genetic sequencing that like transmits information with biologically within our system. So like the cellular framework inside our body, like inside those cells, is like translating that mRNA. It's like taking that mRNA, because it's like the lipid nanoparticle, like helps it get into the cell. The mRNA gets in there, and then I guess it's like the ribosomes, if you remember, it's like cell biology 101. Like I'm a little bit rusty, but I learned this stuff. Anyways, inside the cell, the mRNA that would normally be like in the nuclear area with like the other genetic information, the DNA and whatnot, it is like accessible to be read by proteins, to be translated into proteins. And so like, it's like basically we're getting like foreign signal into our biological system. Foreign signal made by corporate scientists somewhere, people who like have control over that product. They like design that product. They are selling that product. They are having governments. They're having governments like require people to get the vaccine. The U.S. federal government requiring people to take their mRNA vaccine product because of the COVID pandemic. Like, I'm sorry, this didn't go away. This happened. If you remember, the COVID pandemic of 2020 was a really big deal. I think a lot of people have forgotten about that. They don't like to think about it. But the reality is the world shut down because of the will of these like mega corporation powers that for whatever reason are like super interested in injecting everyone on the planet, every biological frame on the planet, human biology and like cells and DNA, every one of them to receive their pharmaceutical product that like injects mRNA. And everybody who went to their medical schools and who reads their news and like controls the narrative, everyone from there can say, they're safe and effective. The leader of the NIAID or NIAID, whatever it is, Anthony Fauci, he's coming on TV and he's telling us that this is going to get us out of the pandemic, they're effective, that they're safe. Okay, we can trust him. So all my peers, the medical doctors at clinics, at hospitals, like we all kind of buy onto that story because that's what the news is reassuring us. Our medical institutions are reassuring us. Our peers are reassuring us. We realize like, okay, if everyone's going in the direction of going with this, so like we better go with this, because anyone who's not going with it, those are lunatics. Those people who are like questioning, having questions about this new technology, like that's really dangerous because maybe they'll get in the way with the agenda to make sure everyone gets vaccinated. Because like there's like so many layers to this story that they really pushed about making like turning us as citizens, as human beings, against one another. It's like there were these like battle lines drawn where some people were thinking that those people, those outsiders who didn't take the COVID vaccine, those people are dangerous. Those people are a threat to our society. And like that was created then, or like was amplified then. It's probably continuing to amplify. And for like a lot of people who are still seeing that, like the message they're getting is that RFK is like representative of like the devil, the Trump, the evil. That, you know, for a lot of people, they see Kennedy as part of the system of the totalitarian government that wipes out our healthcare system. And they love our healthcare system as messed up as it is. Like everyone knows it's messed up, and yet people are like attached to it, and like the idea of whatever, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doing something different is like really scary to them, because like right now, you know, right, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but right now the, you know, average per person spending for their healthcare expenditures is like 6 digits. Like, I don't know, $15,000 a year to, you know, have health insurance and to do whatever. And it's like, for what, you know, like depending on if you have diabetes and you're taking insulin, you're taking metformin, you're taking, you know, blood pressure medicines, lisinopril, Lipitor for your cholesterol. Like, it's so easy to get on a cocktail of medications because first of all, your blood pressure is high, and then your blood sugar is high, and then, you know, it's off to the races with medications. And like, I was trained in that system. Like, I learned from that system. And so like, according to the thinking that like I was indoctrinated into and that I practice, you know, we practice medicine according to the scientific evidence basis. And so like, if the evidence basis is telling us that like statins help lower cholesterol, help reduce morbidity from heart attacks, like we recommend Lipitor, you know, we recommend statins. And like, that is like the industry standard. That is what happened. You know, that is what the articles in the New England Journal of Medicine and the Lancet and the BMJ and all these different, the JAMA, all these like medical journals that we look at, like that's what they say. We get the emails with the headlines on it. We get the journals, you know, in our office mailbox or whatever. So it's like we see it, and it's like it's just like consistent messaging, and the news reaffirms it. And so the narrative is just like constructed, and if you're in it, you're in it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you knew what you're getting into when you signed up for this video, but thank you for listening. I am going to put it up on YouTube and Instagram, I guess, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to DC tomorrow. I'm probably going to be posting more from there about kind of what we're up to with this like group of doctors. Like, it's like not secretive what we're doing. Like, we're being very public about like, we want to talk with you about why we still support Kennedy. So there's going to be a lot more of that coming in the week ahead. So I've said all that, and I really sat down to play music, which feels like a funny transition, but it's like a big part of what I'm doing. So that's where I'm going right now. And so I'm setting up this like stand, and at some point my roommate Jeff may get home, and if so, I'll just like come turn the video off. But in the meantime, I'm going to practice a song or two before I get to oh, here's Jeff. I think there'll be more music next time. Peace out.